welcome in, welcome once again to the newest edition of 3 in 3 Out, the most unique Seahawks recap and film review show in the multiverse for the Seahawks. Of course, I'm your host, Clinton Bonner. I am joined by my good buddy, Adam Emmerich. Hey, Brandon's on vacation. Let the man be. That's A-okay. Hey, Adam, we just saw each other, I don't know, like 24 hours ago when our Seahawks...
too much for you. That's too much of me for you and for the listeners. Yeah,
it's a lot of Adam. They want Brandon. But look, we do have 3 in 3 out. We're going to get through this whole thing. Of course, you and I talked yesterday in a great conversation right after we beat those Jaguars by 8 points down in northeast Florida. But man, that was a good game. And in reflection, I really enjoyed this rewatch. We got a bunch of highlights queued up and like little micro moments, which we'd love to get into with 3 in 3 Out. I think folks are going to really dig this episode, my man.
I think so. Even if it's not titled correctly, this show, because there's a twist coming for y'all. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. So we will get right into it. So hello, Amy. What's going on?
What up, baby?
And as folks pile in, congratulations to the Mariners fans out there. Look, being up 2-0 on the road.
Oh, is it 2-0 now?
2-0. They won again today. And they won 2 in a row. Because yesterday, our Seahawks win a game. The Mariners play at night. The Mariners win 3-2. Now the Mariners win again today. They're up 2-0, and they get to come home with a 2-0 lead. So pretty
That's
commanding.
Cool.
Yeah. And they blew out the Blue Jays today. So congrats to all of those Mariners fans. I am a Mets fan. However, I'm emotionally involved. Ken Griffey was my favorite player growing up. Really loved those like 90s Mariners teams. So my heart's with the Mariners. And of course, his heart, our executive live producer, Ryan911. He's with us here with a $9.99 super chat saying, "Are we getting an Adam in? Go Hawks." Are we, Adam?
No, because Brandon from the road was able to text us his Brandon. And
yes.
I'm excited about it, actually, because it's a great play to talk about.
It sure is. It sure is. So look, we are going to be going through the ins, and that's it. Look, we're going to do 6 ins and the Brandon, because you know what? I was telling you before we got going, I'm like, I don't feel like nitpicking. I thought this defense was really, really good. Now, we had been reserved that we've only ever done 6 ins before when it was a shutout. And you know what, Adam, I was like, I don't care anymore. I want to show there's lots of great stuff. For me to choose only 3 feels like I got to leave out so much. So I went with 6 ins, and it just feels better for our deal. How do you feel about that?
Could have gone with probably 24 ins if you wanted to. There was a lot of great stuff on the tape and a lot of fun stuff to go over. And with that said, I'm fully on board with this, man. And look, I know for me personally, I try not to get too up or down about the team till about week 8, week 9, in there. So I'm starting to get to the point of unabashed homerism and just, this is going to be a great team. We're going a long ways. I'm just a couple more games away, but we're getting close and I'm warming up to it, and this is going to help. 6 ins.
It is going to help, and plus a 7th, right? So, of course, if you're out there, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, look, we are 2 subscriptions, which I know that sounds like nothing, and it really is. We're 2 subscribers away from our newest milestone, so help us get there. I mean, look, we got to be able to compile 2 people, hopefully 20, but let's get 20 so you can be one of those 2 so we can hit that next milestone and keep on charging. We do appreciate it. We're doing 5 to 6 shows every single week at this point, and it would mean a lot to us if you could subscribe. It's free, and it really helps out. When the show is over, drop your comments, put your hypes in. Stick around to the end of this show, too, because not only are we going to go through all these beautiful little nooks and crannies and all these beautiful moments of our Seahawks W yesterday, we're also going to end the show with From the Flock, which is the observations and the ins and outs that come from our Discord and our loyal flockers, Adam, which I'm excited for you to help me get through today as well. So, all right, man. So absolutely. So, we like to put out our polls out on YouTube, and I just wanted to check back in on this one because last week we asked, hey, where do you think JSN is going to end up? And most people were like 1,400 to 1,550 yards, which, by the way, would smash the Seattle record of 1,303. Now, after he puts up his biggest day yet, 162 yards, he's only 4 yards shy of 700 after 6 games. I just wonder if we took a recheck on this, a repulse, where people might go to. But it's getting to the point where if he has like 75 yards a game from here on out, which 79 has been his floor so far. So if he averages lower than his lowest game so far, he's actually going to be right in that middle band, Adam.
Yeah, I think we've got the poll wrong. We don't have the option of 4,000 to 4,500 yards because as much as JSN is going off this year, it's been unstoppable, and the sky feels like the limit for him. And you could tell me 10,000 yards, and I might believe it even at this point. There's an extra game in the season, so
yeah,
you can get really high. But no, in all seriousness, JSN has been outstanding. Has put a stamp on this year and said, "I am here. I am a true number one." Adam, anybody else who had some wonder about that coming into this season, you can shut up now because I'm awesome.
He has been so freaking good. We're going to look a little bit JSN, a little foreshadowing. Reason why we're showing this poll again, we're going to look at some JSN today. Not too much because obviously he's the star. And while we're into the ins, we're still going to look at the nooks and crannies because that's what the show is about. So, oh, by the way, Comic Binge, Paul saying, Mike McDonald showed he can respond and adapt after a loss. I continue to be impressed with him. Same, Paul, absolutely same. Just steady Eddie and always kind of like seemingly willing to face the truth with him and his players. And then, hey, within a week, make the changes he's got to make. We're gonna check out some more foreshadowing. Maybe check out a little Drake Thomas later. Adam, do you know how many snaps Tyrese Knight played yesterday?
3.
2.
Okay, because I know it wasn't much. I saw him once or twice, but it was a lot of Drake Thomas, and there was even the Cali Kid out there, I think. Or maybe it was the other white backup middle linebacker.
O'Toole?
It might have been O'Toole.
O'Toole was on the edge a little bit yesterday. O'Toole was on the edge a bit. Didn't get too much time in there, but a little bit. He actually flashed in a couple of plays. It was interesting. Ivy got a couple of snaps, looked pretty good. Mike Moe continues to contribute. It's not like, I don't know what the ceiling is for Mike Moe, but he's out there. He's contributing now. So, but to Paul's point, Comic Binge, yeah, I mean, look, and especially going 9-1 in his last 10 road games, that is something. So we love it, man. Marlon saying feel like we are playing good football on both D and O. Out, not a consistent run game. We're going to look at that. So let's pin that one. We'll look at that in a bit. All right. So we got that one YouTube quiz poll, I guess it really is. We put up another one today that said Seahawks man of the match. I think we put it up last night. And 414 votes later, no shock, Adam, that JSN comes out on top with about a little less than 2/3. But the vote kind of got split between Byron Murphy and DeMarcus Lawrence. On the recap yesterday, you said Byron Murphy was your man of the match. We put out a short today about that. Not sure if you had a chance to go back and look because DeMarcus Lawrence had, let's say, the more headline stuff. Yes, Murphy has 2 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence is like, anything you could do, I could do better. 2.5 sacks. Byron Murphy has a TFL. DeMarcus Lawrence has 3 TFLs. And with that, I still went back and watched. I was like, ooh, Murphy was still doing the work over the 0, over the 1, and really, really just messing stuff up all game long. But what'd you think about DeMarcus's game as well, dude?
Very good game for Lawrence, of course, his best as a Seahawks so far, and looking forward to seeing more of that. But the thing that's going to make things work for DeMarcus Lawrence and Boye Mafe and Derek Hall and in Nwosu and all the other edge defenders is what's going on with Leo and Byron Murphy and Jaron Reed up front. Mm-hmm. Byron Murphy set up almost everybody else's success on the defensive line with his game this last week. It was as close to dominant as we've seen yet for Murphy, and I think there's more levels to come for him. For me, like JSN going for 8 receptions, 162 yards. Okay. That's great. And those are big numbers and I'm excited for it. That's awesome. But I think Murphy had a bigger impact on this game and I'm just thrilled to watch his development.
Well, I don't know that I could agree. I could agree with a lot of it in the sentiment for sure. The piece that is difficult to take, I mean, it's like, I understand it's not zero sum, it's like, hey, these things all happen together and then the Seahawks win a game and one guy plays offense, one guy plays defense. So it's not like they're competing against each other. But I think I saw some numbers that JSN was like 55% target share, like huge, huge, which will be we're going to review today, and we're going to turn the leaf pretty quickly. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I didn't tell you yet, so everybody might as well know it live. Got a great Texans guest from the S&L podcast. Two dudes that are awesome. Yeah, this guy
Nice.
Cody. Yeah, this guy Cody's coming in. He's awesome. I listened to him this morning and wrote him today, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to come on." So that'll be a lot of fun. And because that Texans team is going to be, it's going to be an interesting turn because I don't know if we could just be JSN dependent versus what I think is another step up in defense with the Texans. So I think we got to get a little bit more going with the rest of the team. So it was a poll. It's out there. It's still live. Folks could, say your piece or put your comments in there too. I figured JSN would win it, and no shock there. But but the boys stepped up with 7 sacks and 17 quarterback hits, which is absolutely tremendous. So, all right, perfect. All right, so everybody knows this by now. Gettintheflock.com. Of course, go support. We appreciate it a ton. All right, look, there's no Brandon. There's no sticky note. There's no whammy. There's just Adam. We're going all in. So are you ready for in number 1?
I am. Lay it on me.
All right. There's no whammy, folks. Brandon's not here. What can we do? So
I know he's got the whammy button. Like, we don't have it, and we shouldn't be trusted with it.
I don't need extra mechanics or physical things. None of it. But I promise you, everything else is here. The ins, no outs, the MVC, the Brandon from the flock. It's gonna be awesome. All right. So I got 2 on the board right away. We back them up with some video, which we're gonna get to right now. And I like to tease or ask Brandon little quizzes saying, where do you think we're going? So in 1, we got Lefty Lucy, and it's 2 distinct plays, actually separated by 2 quarters. When I say Lefty Lucy and it's an in, where do you think I'm going, dude?
Oh my goodness. K9 had a nice run around the edge to the left side early.
Dude,
it was like 4 or 5 yards.
First answer off the board. There you go, my guy.
Hey,
there you
okay.
go. So what I wanted to, and why I want to frame this up, especially with you, because you're so adamant about this, and I think you're so right. And we're highlighting the left-hand side of the line there. So you got Zabel, Cross, and Barner doing the dirty work here. This was drive number 1. And then it's going to go into a drive that I think started the 3rd quarter, which ends up in the Cooper Kupp touchdown, which was really a nice, it's the Cooper Kupp drive, but it was also, they ran the ball well on that drive. Go figure. But what we're seeing here, man, Adam, is just that, look, I feel like when we want to be a run team, we actually want to run, we still can. I think it's willingness, maybe a bit of scripting, but really just like determination. Do we want to run the football more than we are? And maybe there's another factor here, but what do you think of when we do see some run plays like this? What does it make you think of, dude?
Okay. Well, a couple things. One, in terms of volume, I think they're on track for the most part, if you take the season as a whole, to be on the correct side of the volume of runs, right? I think we're right there. I do think that this is going to be something that gets better over time because it takes a little time for the offensive linemen to get the cohesiveness with one another to really work in tandem with each other. In the very first play that you showed with Ken Walker, when you got Zabel and Cross lined up next to each other and from the end zone view, right? So you see those 2 guys right there. Watch how, as Zabel comes off the ball, he targets the guy that would be to his left. Now Cross helps him out by chipping him and getting him pushed inside, because what you need to do is you need to try to get to the guy that, if you're the offensive lineman and you're running left, you have to get the guy that's to your left and cross his face and be able to pin him back inside to the right. And so this is great teamwork. Watch Cross, bam. Yep. And then he goes ahead and gets it to Zabel, and he's able to kind of seal that in. Cross gets to the next level. And then you say AJ Barner with the nice kick out. And it's that sort of chemistry that it takes time to build, and it takes a lot of reps, and it's not something that just happens overnight. So I think the consistency can go up with some of this here in terms of the run game. And I'm excited for it. I think it's on the right track.
And I think it's accessible. And the thing that I title this Lefty Lucy, I'm showing something in the first quarter, something in the 3rd quarter. It's also, by the way, the script. Kubiak is great when scripted, and then maybe he's okay and good when not scripted. And hopefully that can improve as well. But he opens games typically strongly, opens halves strongly. So this is now quarter 3 in that first drive. This is actually a play or 2 right before the Kupp touchdown that they run one more K9 play, and then it's a Kupp in the corner of the end zone. So similar play here. We got student body left, and I mean, beautiful hole there. Brady Russell, by the way, Seattle had some of our biggest plays in the game under center with a fullback in the game. Some of the biggest explosives. These are not explosives. These are 7-8 yard runs, which in a day where K9 only averages 3.4, it's like, well, you're cherry picking, It's like, well, yes and no. This is 20%. These two plays represent 20% of K9's runs. We just need that volume to get up there. In this play, I think Brady Russell does a good job, and I commend him for doing what he's doing out there as best he can as fullback. I'd love to see him, you talk about cross that face. If you watch here too, it's like, man, I think we have an opportunity. If he gets a little bit more, to his left and seals this a bit better, I think there was an opportunity there. Doesn't quite get there, but still two beautiful runs that I was very, very excited to kind of flag early with you specifically because I know you want this more than the average bear. And it's there, dude. The green shoots to be a consistent, good running team are there. We talked last night about the bit of an imbalance that Charbonnet still is getting half or even more touches than K9. Do you think that's going to change anytime soon, man?
Doesn't seem to be. I genuinely hope that it does, because I think we've all decided it's pretty obvious to fans that K9 is the more explosive back. He is the one that can take a couple missed assignments and turn it into a 3-yard gain. Now, can it also turn into a 3-yard loss? Absolutely. That was sort of the tale of people like Barry Sanders, the greatest running back of all time, in my humble opinion. Mm-hmm. With that said, I would love to see more of him, because the slow and steady, and not saying like slow in terms of his foot speed, like Sharps isn't a slow guy, no. But that kind of slow and steady run style, it can have fruit that is born from it from time to time. But I just don't think that's going to take this offense to the next level. And if the idea is you're just worried about getting K9 hurt, the only person on your team you should be worried about getting hurt is quarterback. If K9 healthy, K9 get ball. That should be it. And I'd love to see these carry differentials split up a lot differently.
Me as well. And I think Charbonnet comes in and does a job. And I think he's actually pretty good at that. There's a play in the game earlier where he gets a dump off and ends up like getting 7-yard jack and moves the chains. He's an effective change of pace, but change of pace. That's the big word there, Adam, is like not 50-50, not getting 12 carries to K9's 10, but we will see. We shall see. I would think that the stats and the evidence and the video is going to permeate, and that it's not like cooler heads prevail, but just like people like the Kubiak and team will understand, like, hey, we've got to get K9 more than 10 friggin' rushing attempts per game. Has to happen. So look, it's there. It's not consistent all the time, but when it's good, it can be really quite good. So wanted to share that first. All right. So we got a great call out here by Paul. Paul says, catfish. Adam did the whammy a cappella before. Let those pipes sing. Are you ready to do the whammy a cappella with me and you?
Okay. You ready for the next play?
I'm ready for the next play.
It's whammy time.
Ready? There you go.
Okay. That was so good. It was so good. I'm glad everybody really enjoyed that as much as I'm sure they did.
It sounded just like, it sounded just like the machine. All right, perfect. So we are on to in number 2. Remember, this is an all-in episode because why not? Why not already? It's more fun. All right, I'm just going this one. Uncanny ability. And there's no timestamps. And the reason there's no timestamps, and here's the clue, is because it happened 5 times. So, Adam, what could possibly happen 5 times that is such a nook and cranny that on 3 and 3 out, we're going to talk about this and other shows. I just know they're not.
Jason Myers kicking it, kickoffs and having a good placement.
2 for 2.
Hey, all right.
2 for 2. Look, I just play these. This is the kickoff. They go quick. Don't worry about it. We're not going to talk about it for 10 minutes. Here is after whatever, I think after the touchdown or the field goal, right? So it's 3-3, 6-3 at that point. Here's another kickoff. Like, look, the point being here is with the new rules, which I do not like, but that's fine. Jason Myers is really good at this thing. I mean, it is a big deal that balls are not flying out of bounds, that balls are, sorry about that, guys. Balls are landing where they're supposed to be landing. Let me just get to where we got to be. Back to it. 1 second there.
And it's true, Clinton. You want the balls to land where you want them to go. You don't want errant balls. I think we all agree on that. But
you don't want errant balls.
I'm glad you brought this up because I don't think you can overstate the importance of this.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So, say a bit more about why it matters.
Yeah. So with the new rules, basically, you get up to the 35 with a standard touchback. If you can get it to land in the landing zone and make those guys get into the end zone to pick up the ball and take a knee, or as in the case of the first one, it was such a dirty kick that dude couldn't handle it, that it squibs into the end zone, and you start him at the 20 instead. That decreases the amount of drive success rate by something like 10 or 15% by just taking him from the 35 and pushing him back to the 20. And this is the one thing that I think these kickers have started to figure out about the new dynamic kickoff, which I love, by the way, because now it's forcing plays like this where, you have a kicker that's skilled that can do this. Now you're rewarded for it. This is a real football play. I love this so much better than before. And there's an actual penalty if you have a terrible kicker who can't do this with consistency. This really helps out your defense in terms of their success and keeping points off the board, drive in, drive out. And Myers had a fantastic game on kickoffs. I was really excited about it.
Yeah, and this is why 3 in, 3 out exists. Even if it's all ins, this is the beauty of going all ins, by the way. I could never have the luxury of talking about Myers kickoffs if there were only 3 ins to give. But with 6, I can expand the universe a little bit here and just give the kudos where we believe they should go. Now, again, I dislike the rules because I don't like making up landing zones and all this stuff. My solution, I hate touchbacks. This is people like, well, you must love touchbacks. You're going to yell at the clouds. I'm like, no, just move the tee back and just have a kickoff. But regardless with all that doesn't matter. This becomes a special weapon on special teams. He does it exceedingly well and he's consistent. And what else could you possibly want from your kickoff guy who's got to adapt to something on the fly, get really good at it, and he's landing the ball at the 2-yard line, 1-yard line, over and over, right at the goal line, over and over and over again. So had to call that out. I'm glad we did. All right, let's move on to the next in. You ready to hit the whammy?
That's my best stance, by the way.
That might have been our best yet, to be honest. All right, so in 3, looking at the time, we're really good at this. In 3, we're going old school. This is this terminology was around before I was, frankly, right? This is you guys were talking about pocket thingies way back in the day. This is what year 12 or 13 or whatever whatever Seahawks podcast is on.
Hard telling, not knowing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Pocket thingies were a thing before 3 and 3 out was even a thing. So we got pocket thingies abound. Q2 842, 1st and 10. Seattle's on the 39. So there's a hint there, right? Seattle's on the 39. And you could probably do some math from there. So where do you think we're going with pocket thingies abound?
We're going deep.
That's it, dude. We're going deep. So again,
am I 3 for 3? I'm usually 0 for, man. Look at this.
You're 3 for 3. You're 3 for 3. So look, this is the bomb to JSN, which is just a thing of beauty. And on 3 and 3 out, we love JSN. We love Sam. But what I want to point out more and what you and I want to talk about on 3 and 3 out is look at this pocket thingy. Look at this beautiful pocket. Now, Abe gets walked back a little bit, but he holds the fort enough. And then we're going to see the all 22. Sam still steps up with Abe getting walked back a little bit, but he doesn't win, but he doesn't lose. But then when you look at the all 22, look at the left-hand side of this line. Look at the room. Look at the room. And this is what a beautiful shot that is right there. So beautiful shot from Sam. But what are you seeing, dude? What gets you goosed?
They get the slide right out of the gate. They get their mic correct, and you can see them. I mean, what I really love here is that this ends up putting Bradford in a position where he's able to. The place he usually misses is when he tries to go inside real fast and wash a dude down. And he was in perfect position to be able to do that successfully this time. So it's cool to see that. But Sundell holds his own. Zabel and Cross work together. And while Abe maybe doesn't get the anchor set as quickly as possible, he does get his anchor set right there.
Yes,
like,
he does. Yep.
And
Yep.
that's still a win. That's a winning rep at that point.
Here. Right
Yep.
there he sets. And it's enough. And like another half a yard, if he gives up another half a yard, Sam can't step into this at all. And it, who knows what happens then, but it's enough of a pocket. The left-hand side's done such a good job. And then Abe, again, this is like, you don't gotta win. You could draw and still win. And that's what I would say Abe did here. It's like it's a draw, but you still get the W because you gave your quarterback enough time to fire this thing. And then what a beautiful
dot, just a dot too.
A dot and all. And I slowed it down one more bit, but yeah, man. So Bradford's sliding. It's a good thing. Sundell starts to get walked back, but it's too late. This is a long developing play, and he's got the time to do the thing.
They only bring 4. They don't stunt. They don't do anything crazy. So, fairly standard protection here. And Sam's footwork is great. I mean, you watch him take his drop. It's back foot hitch, go. It's just perfect. That's how you draw it up on the chalkboard.
Yeah, absolutely. The Snail member for many, many months waving and say, hey, what's up, Snail? What up, dude? And I like this from Marlon. Marlon says, in kickoff rules until it hurts us. Laugh out loud. So funny stuff. So, and then Marlon also saying Bradford won a one-on-one. And hey, we're here to celebrate those one-on-ones.
Blind squirrels, baby.
Absolutely. Charlie says he had 4 open guys, picked the right one. That, Charlie, it's a good point. That's a thing, right? Now, yes, JSN's probably his one because he's JSN. And with that, the quarterback still has to make the right read. He's got a choice. He could check this down to K9, and K9 could probably turn it up and go get 8 more yards, and that's perfectly cromulent. But, why have hamburger when you could have a ribeye, right? So there we go. Beautiful job.
Yeah. I mean, the second that JSN is even with the DB, they say it, when you're even, you're leaving. And Sam listens to his feet. That is read number 1. You watch, that's where he keeps his head fairly straight down center field to start with, to try to keep the opposite safety on the other side of the field and allow that shot to happen there. But the second he sees JSN is even, he knows he has him beat. And he just trusts his feet, trusts his eyes, trusts his arm, and just lets it rip. This is playing free and easy. Zing! Yeah. Just like that. Oh, gosh. It's a thing of beauty.
It's a fun one. All right, perfect. Don't want to give away too much there. So that's a great in there. So we're happy to celebrate that, too. And to your point about Sam, too, this was not the only time in the game where he sees something, and he knows what his receivers are going to do. And we're going to review one a little bit where it's like, man, it's like, wow, dude, you threw that ball when? And you got what kind of result did you get on that throw? And by the way, it's got a happy ending because this is an all-in episode, so stick around for that.
I love happy endings. Okay.
So we'll watch Sam one more time, and we'll pause it. Look at this. He kind of had to step to his left a little bit too. He couldn't step straight because of where Abe was, but he still
Good
gets
feet.
it done. All right, ready to hit that whammy with me? We got dogs.
It's even better when my camera freezes. And I got the frozen face. It's good stuff. Gotta love
the best part is, somewhere Brandon's on vacation, just shaking his head, be like, I can't leave these guys alone.
He's dying inside. It's fantastic.
I love it. So Dogs of Le Monster, another member out on YouTube. What's up? What's up, dog? He says, late to the party. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Dogzilla. We're celebrating the Mariners W. We're going back to, of course, yesterday with the W for our Seahawks. And I came on the stream earlier, Adam, singing happy days, dude. Sunday, Monday, happy days. What a day. Grooving all week with you. And we talked a little bit last night about tackling. And, went back and watched the tape. And look, Shaq Griffin, what he puts on tape, some of it is a little bit, there's a couple of times where I'm like, oh, okay, I think he's reacting a little, I don't know, maybe a tad bit slow. This is not, we're going to get to some really positive stuff. Maybe a tad slow. And then I feel like he makes up for that in many, many ways with the way he tackles, man. He's just a good, sound tackler, and very specifically in the run game. So I wanted to pull one up. So we got Shaq here. He's highlighted. This is a beautiful play, right? So what you're going to see is your Shaq is out there on the edge. He's got his guy one-on-one. It's going to be a run to the left-hand side. What I want folks to think about while they watch this is like, if Shaq doesn't win this block and go make this tackle, how long does this run go for, right? So let's watch Shaq now do his thing. There we go. Just absolutely just throws his guy to the left, comes up and makes a stick. I mean, Adam, what are you seeing there from Shaq? And, tell me why it's got you fired up.
Outrageously good technique. You talk about shedding blocks and what that looks like. And that's not what corners are known for, but get off.
Right.
And then it gets over there and makes a form tackle on ETN. And the best part about the tackle to me is he's the edge player, right?
Yes.
So as ETN's coming down, he doesn't over pursue here and get himself out of position. He holds the edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like right here, he could be jumping inside more to be sure to get to him. But no, he takes a great angle. He stays on the outside shoulder of the back, turns him inside to help. And not that he needs it, because he's going to be a Stone Cold Killer. There it is.
There we
the
go.
phrase I was looking for.
Cold Stone Creamery. It's all good. Whatever you want.
Cold Stone Creamery. Yeah. I mean, that's this was better than a vanilla tackle. This was some rocky road right here. And he just takes him down.
It's good stuff, man. It's good. We saw this a couple of times during the game where again, that trade-off, I understand the trade-off in man coverage. And he's, at this point in his career, he's always good for some PBUs in a game. When he was here the first time, not a big interception guy. Pretty good cover guy, but not amazing, but pretty good NFL cover guy. But I think the bonus you get with Shaq is I think you get this kind of tackling, man. And this, to me, this is what I want my DBs to be and do. Yes, I understand it's a throwing league, and you gotta be able to do both for sure. I know that. I still want to celebrate when I see Shaq doing this on a level that I think is superior to some of our other DBs who kind of had the day off.
And then here's the other part. I mean, you talk about maybe in coverage, it wasn't the greatest game, and you saw some hesitation at times, or whatever it was that you were kind of mentioning.
A little delay, yeah.
Little delay. How many games has Shaq Griffin played in Mike McDonald's system?
Yeah, this is numero uno.
Numero uno. Okay. So that leads me to believe that there's some familiarity and some comfort level with the system that Shaq can get to where he'll look even better in coverage. But let's not get it twisted. Shaq Griffin is a professional football corner. He is. Yeah. He belongs in the league. I'm not saying that he's a top half of the league corner or anything like that, but he's a professional corner, and that's a great guy to have as a depth piece. I'm thrilled with what we saw out of him for his first go in this D.
Yeah, and we're not here to poo-poo on Pritchett either. When Pritchett came in, he got exposed the game before. Pritchett had a couple of nice special teams plays in this game, by the way. So kudos to him as a young man. He goes out there, he hears stuff too. He goes out there and makes plays when he's asked to on special teams. So he good by you. With that, I think it was an upgrade to get Shaq in the game this week, and I thought he did a real nice job. We have Charlie saying, how quick was Lawrence there? I didn't. Let's see, how quick was Lawrence there? I mean, Lawrence was all over the field, so the answer is probably
was he quick in the short area? Was it short area quickness? Was it some sack?
Was it some sack? Did he have a little sack? Could be hard tell, not knowing. So, but if we got to see the tackle a couple more times, it's all good. NFL, let's see. He's an NFL start, in my opinion. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go, Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, could be. And it's a great depth piece. And clearly, he did start for our Seahawks yesterday, and he played a good game, man. So
he was a plus player for the day.
Exactly. Wanted to call that out. He tackled well throughout the day. And that's how I like my DBs, who can tackle. All right, let's whammy it, bud. Ready?
All right.
Yeah. Go. That might have been the best yet. Comment below if you want us to do this every time, please.
Oh, all right, God, no.
No, we'll get the machine back. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. But the 3D printer, I did talk to Brandon earlier. The 3D printer, totally revved up. The MVC is being printed as we speak, so no worries there. The very, very real trophies being printed. All right, so we're going to call this one dirty work. I saw it on the screen earlier. You probably did too. And just to give you an idea, it was very end of Q2. So Q2, 108 to go. Well, I say very end of Q2. Here's another hint. It's 10-6 Jaguars, 3rd and 9. Q2 101. Jacksonville's on our 23-yard line. Remember, we end this half 13-6. So do you remember what happens on 3rd and 9 with about a minute to go in the first half?
Oh, I'm about to go 3-1 because I do not remember. And I was looking, I peeked at the comments when you flashed it up, so I didn't even get to use my hint.
That's okay. No worries. So what we're going to look at here, which I'm loving this. Look, DeMarcus Lawrence gets this sack. That's cool. And DeMarcus Lawrence played an awesome game. Also cool. I want you to watch this. Well, I'm going to highlight it so you'll see. But look who's doing the work, because this is a stunt on both sides. Look who's doing a stunt on D-Law's side to just absolutely free this up for him. Look at this. Look at that work. And if you couldn't tell there, you'll see another angle in a second. We'll just let it play through. But that is Leo. Just going through two big humans at once and just being like, I'm better than you at football and you're not going to stop me. So Leo, I call it dirty work because he's not getting credit for the sack. He gets a sack on the day, right? Maybe a sack and a half, whatever. But if this is the play where Leo gets up when it's done and he does that W pump thing he does, he did it after this one too, because he understands that he basically creates this sack for Lawrence, which is awesome to do it together. But really, this is the dirty work I'm talking about. What do you think, man?
Look, if you're an edge player like DeMarcus Lawrence, to play next to a blue chip top 2 or 3 defensive linemen next to you, interior D lineman like Leo, who can do that, that commands that kind of attention. And then when he does command that kind of attention, just mollywomp the two of them. Like, that is amazing. Watch this. Guys, don't go to the ground as an offensive lineman. Puts a guy on his ass.
Yeah.
D-Law comes shooting in. It really does just make life easy. Now you can go whoop inside. Bye-bye, Trevor. I love it, man. This is the type of stuff that gets me giddy.
I'm sure it does. And if you look at the other side too, you got Reed. Reed gets there late. Not late. He's there anyways, what I'm trying to say. But him and Maffei are doing a little do-si-do. They switch up. So it was this double stunt, one being hyper effective, one was like there for cleanup just in case. And McDonald was in his bag yesterday, man. It was a lot of fun to watch McDonald, still get pressure with 4 and then dial up timely blitzes where, whether it was Drake Thomas, whether it was Imanwari and others, we had Trevor Lawrence, I think, pretty confused for most of the day, Adam.
You put that kind of pressure on any quarterback, I don't care who it is, they're going to have a rough go.
Yeah,
and especially somebody of Trevor's ilk with the way he's playing right now, which is some ups and a fair amount of downs too. It's really going to accentuate the downs. And that's what we saw here.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So D-Law ends up with 2.5. That's how he got one of them. And we celebrate that. So we call that dirty work because it won't show up in the stats and it's not going to get you paid. But Lord,
that'll get you paid.
Well, yeah, true. But their agents are watching, right? But hopefully this year, like, come on, man. If Leo does this for 17 games again, right, knock on all the woods, like, can we get the dude to a Pro Bowl? Can we get the guy to an All-Pro level? Because he's absolutely still playing at that level for 100% sure. So it's just a thing of beauty to watch that guy go to work every Sunday. All right, we got one more in before the Brandon. Ready?
Okay, no, this is silent whammy.
Oh, perfect. I'll be Sledge. Okay, I'll be Stink. You be Chris Myers.
Okay,
Ready?
okay. Oh.
I can't hear. They're not my ears.
Sue.
They're not my ears.
I can't hear the producer. Yeah.
I can't hear the producer. They're not my ears.
Let me say something else stupid.
Jackson Smith and Judy. Okay, perfect. They were dreadful. All right, so in 6, we're calling this in 6. That sounds like a bad boy band. All right, we're calling this KG Vet stuff. That's it. KG Vet stuff. Q3, right. 10:19 to go. It's 3rd and 3 from Jacksonville's 11-yard line. Okay, 3rd and 3. And there's a hint on screen. If you look at that score, the way they do it on NFL Pro is they're actually showing you the score if you scored on the play. So big hint there. What do you think we're going to look at here? 3rd and 3 from the 11.
3rd and 3.
I'm telling you it's a touchdown. And it's not the JSN touchdown.
Gosh. God, you're just a day away, and all of a sudden things get fuzzy. We're gonna go with a nice Cooper Cup block here to spring this play. Wow.
Well, I'll give you partial credit because it is Cooper Cup, but it's at the touchdown. This is Cooper Cup.
Oh, is it this touchdown?
This
Perfect.
is the touchdown, right? So this is a combination of Sam being like, oh my, this is what I was hinting at earlier, where when Sam throws this ball, Cooper Cup is not even, he's not even in the universe. He's like not in Sam's line of vision. He's not there, basically. There's so much trust here already. But the thing I want folks to really focus on, and I got to give some love to See Mike Spin Move, Griff Sturgeon. He was talking from Seattle Overload. He was talking about this last week. So not this play, but last week he, flashed a Cooper Cup like 20-yard, just kind of like sideline play that Cup made last week. And he's like, look at the way he stays vertical until the very last second where he goes completely horizontal and actually breaks back to the ball a little bit. And from Griff's perspective, he's like, he's doing that 1000% on purpose with the idea that the DB, I think he understands, he's not quite as fast as he used to be, but with the savvy there being like, hey, if I could hold that DB a millisecond longer and then break super horizontal and even back to the ball a little bit, well, it gives me that bit of an advantage. So I want you to watch that with this in mind, because I was like, oh man, he did it again. So here we go. Here goes Coops. And we get a different angle in a second too. But he's getting vertical and then he just darts in. He actually comes back to the ball and this ball's gone. This ball is out of his hands and he breaks back towards the pylon. But it's after he continues. That DB has no idea what's happening. You know what I mean? That DB is just like, oh, he's running a flag. He's running towards the back left pylon until he decides to hit the brakes and really turns it perpendicular right towards the sideline. So I thought it was really cool between Sam and this kind of cagey vet stuff. I thought it was worth diving into. What do you think?
So there's a lot to love here. And let's talk about Cup's route to start with. So at the beginning of the play, when they're at the line of scrimmage here, you're going to see that the DB type here, number 2, he's playing with inside leverage. See how he's lined up to the inside shoulder of Cup here? Right now is when Sam Darnold is looking at this and going, I think I got man, I think I get inside leverage, and I think I've got one of the more technically precise route runners in the league. And so right now he's already thinking of it here. So then you go ahead and run it. Mm-hmm. And then right when he gets to about the 5, pause it right there. You can see his body kind of angle here in his weight. He's got his left foot down here, and he's taking a little bit of a jab step inside here, and that's when he breaks outside. And I think the next step, or maybe the second one, is when Sam lets go. Nope, next step. That's when Sam's letting go of the ball. Yep. And that's, as JT O'Sullivan puts it, capital A anticipation. Mm-hmm. And that's big time quarterback stuff. And my favorite part, and you talked about it here, is when Cup gets to about the logo, watch how much he drives back towards the football. Exactly. This is what is special. Right there. That's good stuff. That's a high level wide receiver play. Even if your physical skills maybe aren't quite there, but knowing about the game and mentally being ahead of the curve and just making 2 look stupid here. It was awesome.
Great breakdown there, man. And because I think we have to drill home too is like, look, if you do this differently, the consequences of this throw, because this is the type of throw that if a quarterback makes this throw and the DB picks it off, and then you're screaming at the quarterback being like, oh my gosh, how could he not, blah, 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 blah. And it would probably be because the wide receiver flattens too soon and gives it away. We like to say, give away the ghost, right? Like if Cup flattens too soon, well, then the DB is like, okay, I know where this is going. Could turn his head a second quicker, either get a PBU, more likely a PBU, but if he's really on his game, maybe turn around, just pick it off. We've seen stranger things, right? So it's the combination of that anticipation and the route running. And it's just so freaking crisp. And like you said, I love
the ball's just,
it's perfect. It's perfect. You can't throw a better dime with anticipation to a spot that doesn't even look like it exists. It's like wormhole type stuff. Like it's like, see to believe or believe to see. It's like this. We're going through. Something good's gonna happen. But that break, as you said, he hits that bottom of the shield, and he literally is not just perpendicular. He's actually got a bit of an angle back towards the front left pylon. It's just so well done. And that to me is the difference of what you get with the Cooper Cup, or just this Cup, as you like to call him, just Cup.
Just Cup. I'm tired of hearing his full name, so you can go Coop. You can go Cup. I'm done with the whole thing. But with that said, you were talking about possible picks on outbreaking routes like this. And one is that the receiver either just goes horizontally flat with the with the lines on the
goal
field,
line,
or not come back to the ball. The other is that the quarterback's late.
Yep.
If Sam throws this a little bit later, Tu's able to undercut this, and now it's not a touchdown; it's an interception, and you're yelling at the screen, and you're wishing for Geno Smith. But that's not the case at all, because the exact opposite of all that happened. And Sam and Cup, they came up with a great play here. 6 points. Gotta love it.
Yep, it's high end quarterbacking, high end wide receiving across the board here. We got Vin Russo saying Cup doesn't separate much anymore, and he doesn't. He doesn't get huge separation, but a good point out by Marlon too, saying Cup was never a burner, but was always top rated route runner, right? So one of the things. So Vin, thank you. I think it's a valid point, and I think he's a little bit slower than he used to be in his prime when he was winning the Triple Crown. That can be absolutely true. The route running is still clearly there. And one thing we talked about, or one of the things I was pounding the table for with the Cup signing, was like, look, I think we're going to be definitively better in the red zone because of Cup. And in my opinion, when we lost Metcalf and lost Lockett, I was like, look, I don't think those guys are red zone darlings. Metcalf didn't high point the ball particularly well. He, as big as he wasn't kind of play strength, that kind of dude most often. And Lockett was always get over the top type of guy. And when he was younger, he was quick enough to get open in short spaces. And that goes with age. That just is what it is. Cup still has this kind of savvy. So I think it's a nice discussion for sure. All right. So look at that. We got through our 6 ins. That was a lot of fun. We do win. We get the extra in. We're just going 7 this time. We don't need the whammy per se, but it is the brand in. And there's, look, has Brandon ever look at him? Look at him there.
Yeah. That almost looks like Brandon. Almost.
Yeah. What do you mean? That's a picture of Brandon. He looks amazing. So this is the Brandon.
You're right.
He's on he's on vacation, but he's got it.
Vacation.
For us.
He's going to the plastic surgeon to look like this.
And he's picked
I would.
I know, right? He's picked a beautiful one as well. So Adam, you know what it is. I'll play it. You break it down. You take it away, because this is the Brandon, brought to you by Adam, sponsored by Noah's Arcade. We'll see this one more time because we're here, and why not? Yeah. And we'll get to it in a second. But it's a beautiful play from a guy that got a lot of run, and here we are.
So we got Drake Thomas. He's coming down into the box here, coming on the blitz, and he takes Little and shoves him out the club. Get out of here! It's like so nice. He wants no part of this. This guy is like what? Probably what? Drake Thomas probably comes in at what? 220?
Probably heavier.
40?
Probably 240. Probably 240.
Okay, so Walker Little here has him by at least 60 pounds. He goes,
at least.
Just chucks him, and then he is a dog off the leash at that point. Trevor Lawrence just pooped himself, and that's the end of that. I mean, that's a great rep. The poor Jags offensive lineman, he is gonna have nightmares about this for the whole week.
Oh. Yeah, he's gonna get picked on for this one.
That's embarrassing. That's freaking embarrassing. The Letterkenny coach would not be happy with offensive tackle.
Garbage cans would be kicked for sure. And I saw a different tweet out there. I forget who it was. So I'm sorry, I can't give credit. But they were like, when you call the right blitz protection and you still get dogged. And like, that was that, like you're sliding the guy over, you're anticipating. And it's not like, Drake is not like hiding it. He creeps right up there and says, I'm coming, big boy. And he clubs him out of the way. And then I got to give the extended credit that, again, we talked about this. He doesn't over pursue. He doesn't he kind of goes right at Lawrence, but doesn't get one way or the other over his skis. He's able to finish the sack, get there and finish the sack, which of course is a huge part of it. Does not let him escape, because we saw that a lot with Mayfield last week and a little bit with Lawrence this week too.
What I think is extra fun about this is that this is a good example of the type of physicality and energy that Mike McDonald wants this team to play with.
Heck yeah.
And watching Drake Thomas do this is going to fire up Mike in such a huge way. This is going to be a fun play for him to show in front of the team this week. And that's just really an embodiment of what this team wants to become and really be the bully on the block, which is what all of us here as 12s have been hoping and wishing for a number of years now, since kind of the dissolution of the LOB. And we're starting to see as you always put it, Clinton, the green shoots of it. And good for Drake Thomas too. A guy who hasn't had a lot of opportunities to be a full-time starter in this league, has really had to work at his craft and stick around and make rosters. And that's a tough thing to do. Mm-hmm. And he's been with this team for a couple years. He got a lot of run this week, and look, man, he paid it off with this sort of play here, which is fantastic. Watching Trevor's belly button there, making sure that he doesn't get juked out of his shoes. And gosh, that's textbook. It's textbook. Good for Drake Thomas.
Yeah, very, very good for Drake Thomas. Great for our Seahawks. And the last bit I'll say about it is, as we're watching it over and over and over and over, because this is the type of play you watch over and over, he hits him so hard that if he doesn't run into his guard, if he doesn't just back into he's going to be on his ass. He literally is he's done. He doesn't have legs. He just gets held up. He just gets held up, which is insane. Because like you said, the distribution, the how much weight he's given up here, it's a lot. But man,
so the interesting thing is when he looks back right here, you can't see it on this copy, but in HD on the regular copy, you can see a tear just going down his face. That's how sad he was after that.
He was big sad. He was definitely big sad. So that is the Brandon. It's a great one for sure. So look, today was all about the ends. I was tired of nitpicking. So if you like these, let us know in the comments. So after, not live, when the show's over, if the all ends, look, I'll say this. I'm not giving anybody all ins when we lose. So, but when the Seahawks win, we used to do it only for shutouts. And the last shutout's been years ago now, that it's it's so few and far between the NFL. You get a shutout nowadays. It's very, very rare. So I don't know, Adam, I guess before we move on to the MVC, what do you think of the all in format exclusively for Seahawk W's?
Well, I mean, it's logical that it would have to come after W's, A. And then B, how many nights a week do your kids have ice cream for dinner? I'm guessing it must be every night, because you're like, well, that special thing that we used to do, just after shutouts, every time now. That's what we're doing. So it's ice cream for dinner at the Bonner household.
I love it.
Ice cream for the Flockers, in only ins after wins. And, honestly, it's hard not to have fun with it, so I'm not mad.
Yeah, I love it. So Marlon's trying to preserve it. Marlon's win by 3 or more scores. Even that, Marlon, there was things I could have picked apart in this. There was some Saubert blocks where I was like, okay, I actually want our third tight end, who's a blocking tight end, to be better in certain scenarios. There was that miscommunication between Shaq and Imanwari for the BTJ touchdown. But I felt like I'm picking nits, and I'm like, I'd rather just show some really cool stuff. And I'm glad you were here to break it down. So maybe Marlon, we'll bring it to the Discord. Let folks maybe chime in if they like the ins, and it's probably a bit more fun. All right, so we don't need the whammy for this, but I do want you to guess. So 7 ins, so it's even harder than usual. Who the MVC, the most valuable cranny? I know the 3D print is working. I know the very real 3D printed MVC trophy is going to be shipped tomorrow to the VMAC. But Adam, who do you think is getting the MVC and the limited edition trading card for this week 6W?
Well, I know that we're running low on 3D printer materials, so the smaller the guy, the better, to make this trophy for. So I'm going to go with Jason Myers.
How in the what? You don't know these things, folks.
I don't.
Dude, it's so funny. Everybody that's watching live now, later, by the way, for that alone, like the freaking video, drop a comment, tell the soothsayer that he's done amazingly well. Subscribe, the whole thing already. I swear to every single body out there, Adam does not have access to the deck I'm showing. He didn't know I was going to go with Jason Myers. But it's Jason Myers.
And to be fair, if you said it to me ahead of time, I probably wouldn't look at it anyways. So that's how you know it's genuine for sure. But I love this because, I mean, you hear coaches talk about hidden yardage all the time and what a big deal it is, because it is. And this is the epitome of it right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jason Myers, he is our week 6 MVC, which is number 4 in the year because you only get MVCs when you win. Winners get sprinkles. That's the way it goes. And the inscription is going to read, for an uncanny ability to kick the ball to the 1-yard line every single kickoff. It's just amazing. Yeah. And we got that gorgeous shot. That was a game shot right from yesterday, peeled from the photos from yesterday. So good job to the Seahawks crew taking those beautiful photos. The rest of it we designed because we think it's a lot of fun. So congratulations to Jason Myers. I am pretty positive this is his first MVC ever. Maybe not his last, but it is his first. And that gets me quite excited. So great job, dude. I cannot believe you got that. All right. So we're going to go into From the Flock. From the Flock is, we head into our Discord. There's ins, there's outs, there's more commentary. It's a great job by our little flockers. But if folks out there are watching this for the first time being like, I don't know, where have you guys been my entire life? How could they get even more into our lives, Adam?
First off, Montana. But if you want to get into it a little bit more, go to getintheflock.com. We've got a bunch of different tiers for to help us with this show and support us on Patreon. You can get in on all sorts of different cool stuff. We've got a cool Pick'em League. We've got the Ring of Honor on Facebook, and then the Discord that is now almost a full-time thing, really. All off season, all through the season. You got great 12s in there to banter back and forth with and fellow fans of the show. So become a little flocker today. You know you want to. Hurry up.
It's good for your deal is what it boils down to. So getintheflock.com or become a member out on youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast and help it out. All right. So we are going to head into From the Flock, which again is exclusively for our $3 and above folks in the Discord. And we're going to I'll start this slide up. You can take the next one. We got Car. I'm a little sad she's not here live. I know she'll listen later because I know she would love all the ins. She's been clamoring for more ins, but we got it here, Car. She says, in that touchdown throw to JSN is a thing of beauty. Yeah, we looked at it and no lies detected. Sam's playing really good football, Car. All right, we also got Josh DeHum, another amazing flocker, says, in JSN off to a Seahawks historic start of a season. Yeah, he's kind of running away with it at this point. So it's a matter of all the knocks on the woods, staying healthy. And I don't know. I can't wait to talk to the Texans guys and be like, hey, what will DeMeco Ryans do to try and stop this? Because this is 6 weeks in a row and nobody's done it yet, Adam.
And, you know, you asked me in the post-game show if that was something that's sustainable to be this JSN centric in the pass game.
Right.
And Mike was asked something sort of similar in his presser. And he brought up the idea of, well, when you play football the right way in terms of, you know, having 2 tight ends in, getting under center, running the football, action stuff, boots, all of that, when you combine running the football, when you combine all of those elements, there's so many things going so many different directions that even if you know that their best player by far wears number 11 and goes by an acronym, you still can't stop him.
I love that answer. And anybody that goes back and rewatches this beyond what we just showed, a lot of our explosives came out of 12 personnel, like under center, 12 personnel. And I know we keep saying like, and just wait for that run game to click a little bit more, even a little bit more, because I still am a huge believer in it. I know as you are. As the snow starts to fly and the earth starts to cool, you really do need that run game in the winter months to sustain and just be a football team that can make a deep playoff run. The exciting part is that we are 4-2, and we're starting to talk about a team that we think kind of has that fabric, which is really cool. All right. Can you see Stu's? Can you take it from here?
Yeah, so Tricky Dicky with some solid punts as expected. Love the nickname, Stu.
Sure.
Dixon has been
Did a good job.
solid all year. I mean, how many times have we mentioned Michael Dixon this year?
Well, he got it out like a couple of weeks ago because it's like, dude, you got to put the ball sometime within the 10, like to the 20 is not good enough. And then honestly, I think he heard it, to be honest. And then from that moment on, he's been coughing, cornering, and fair catches at the 5-yard line and stuff like that. Dixon's been very good again. So, and Tricky Dicky, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And he did hear it, by the way, because I know you text former players now and then. I actually had coffee with Mike. We talked about it and he knew. So,
good.
Yeah. So
Glad.
thanks for taking care of that for Mike. Really cleaned things up for him.
No problem. We got Frost, who is, of course, Ryan 911. He's, if you didn't know that, but he's Frost in the Discord. We also call him Coach in the Discord. So what up, Coach? He says, Griffin's tackling has been good to great so far today. We covered that, and I had it queued up before I saw that. So I hope you liked it, man. Oh, Frost also saying, fantastic effort by Cooper Kupp, racking up the rack on the sideline. Yeah, man, like these... Cooper Kupp's a complete player in my book, even at this advanced age. We got Lloydzilla Hugh from the UK, which is of course the father of Evie, our overlord for the Pick'em League.
Yeah.
Says in the neutral zone was Travis Hunter's foot. That took away that touchdown. So we appreciate Travis Hunter not knowing how to line up and being a rookie. We like those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the old coach adage is for every rookie that you play during a season, it's going to cost you a game. Well, there you go with Travis Hunter. And, you were talking about Kupp's rack there, and I like big rack for Kupp. It's good. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dude. Take right hand, Dad.
Oh, okay. All right. We got right hand, Dan. Soft zone coverage out. So we got outs from the flock here. The zone, look, this is just me personally, because aesthetically, it doesn't look right. It feels like too many guys get stuck covering ground, then playing zone, and then matching a guy when they come into their zone. It drives me crazy. I'm sure there's reasons that guys who are far smarter at devising defenses than I am use this sort of coverage, but I hate it. I've always hated soft zone coverage. I don't know about you, Clinton, but it makes me nuts.
It's the frustrating part. And that's when you're watching these particular angles that we get on Sundays, the, horizontal side scroll. And it's like, how did that happen? Why is he so open? And they're sitting down in zones or they're exposing zones. And it happened a couple times earlier in the game and it got better. And the way I know it got better was because the Falcons only converted 25% of their third downs. Now we were worse, by the way. We were 1 for 12 yesterday. And we won the game going away, which is not great. But they
not going to see that often.
No, hopefully. No, you really won't. But they were only 25%, which you'll take any day of the week. So we really did get better as the game went on. And I know for right hand Dan's sake, there was a few earlier where like, come on, guys, let's get off the field. But then that got a lot better. We actually ended the game incredibly strong. We just got them. That was like, 3 and out. Just they had to put drives together and they couldn't, which is really cool. Why don't you take a few more if you got Guru there?
Yeah, all right. We got Guru Fancy Pants and Kobe Bryant always trying to punch the ball out end of the third quarter. Jags TD. Kobe, he plays with a ton of effort. And I think for a guy who's maybe limited in comparison to like the really high end safeties in this league in terms of physical talent, you make up for that with effort and smarts. And Kobe has always been a really smart football player, and that's indicative of that. And then Guru Fancy Pants also has an out for Job giving up in the Jags score. I don't recall that one, but yeah, it's never good to get caught in the trot on the tape. But I would have to go back and watch it.
I don't think it was giving up is, it's got a certain connotation, right? I just think he a little bit over pursue, and then I don't think he thinks the ball's coming his way. So there's the give up. It's like, okay, the ball, no way the ball's coming this way. And the ball came that way. So yeah, Job almost had like a moment of lackadaisicalness. I think that's what he's pointing out there. And I think it's actually fair because Job had those back-to-back plays, right? He has the interception that should have been, that ends up the Brian Thomas long touchdown that got canceled because Travis Hunter doesn't know how to line up as a rookie. And then Job gives up the touchdown later. So a little frustrating, but Hopefully keeps getting cleaner. We got Amy on screen here and Amy in the Discord and Amy with us live. Hello, Amy. As Design Pete's Beach House saying in EJ4 with the goal line stop. This is on the 2-point conversion. Big part of the game. Beautiful stop by EJ. And we talked about that last night, Adam, that I was like, man, that was kind of a turning point. And it was a big deal. So love Amy calling that one out. We got Dane X saying out. Too many pre-snap penalties. There were a few. It's just like the other stuff before. I kind of think we got cleaner. We got cleaner. Even though the offense started and sputtered a little bit here and there, I felt like we played pretty clean the rest of the game. And Carcar saying hearing the Seahawks chant on the broadcast. Yes, whether they had announcers or not, it was nice to hear Seahawks raining on the broadcast. All right, take the next one if you can. Adam.
All right, we got Frost back with a 7-sack day.
Nice.
You know what's better than 1 sack, 2 sacks, 3 sacks, 4 sacks, 5 sacks? 7 sacks for sure.
Sacks. Yeah,
I love having 7 sacks. And then we've got I like to touch my Bobo. In an effective pass rush improves the secondary. And we've been talking about this for years. Couldn't agree more there.
Yeah.
And Northwest Gambit, they've got a gambit of different things here, which is the wrong use of gambit, but I don't care.
It's okay. How about a gaggle? How about a gaggle? Can we say that?
A gaggle?
A gaggle.
Yeah, that works too. In Seahawks defense, 7 sacks, so 7 sacks again. Shaq greater than Pritchett. Agreed. He did great coming in the first game back as a Hawk. Out the run game still needs work. 64 yards on 23 carries. 2.7 yards per run average is rough. That is not good enough for sure. I think there are some slight tweaks that can help with this, and we talked about that on nauseum for the last, I don't know how many episodes of different things. And what have we got with 12th man records here, Clinton?
12th man, Jason Bonner saying hearing the Seahawks fans cheer on the TV broadcast, which, yes, we love that. And then JSN Jiggy with it. Lisa in Seattle secondary serviceable against the mid offense. And that's worthy of an in. Out. Same secondary still gets cooked by Baker and Igbuka. So basically saying, good enough for today, but not good enough going forward. So Lisa just, kind of got a little bit of a backhanded compliment. And that's okay. We know what you mean there. And I mean, heck, we agree. We watched Baker went out there and did it again to the 49ers. And that was without Igbuka, right? And all of a sudden, Tez Johnson steps up and Cameron Johnson steps up. Tez Johnson?
I don't know. I'm getting my Johnsons confused on the
Sacks,
box. There's no doubt
Johnsons,
about it.
Everything there. We got Carcar again saying, my dad came in from doing work outside to see the Jags score. So he smartly turned right back around and went outside so he could win. So good job to Carcar's dad for understanding how the universe works, Adam, and doing the work. Frost saying we've been watching for Clutch Darnold, but today the injured D came up clutch in the fourth quarter. Great points. Sam certainly did enough. And the D just kept on saying, not today, not going to be your day there, Trevor. And then Northwest Gambit again saying I learned from my mistake last week. I mothballed my losing throwback Wagner jersey for the season. And instead I wore my winning at home Cam Chancellor jersey, currently undefeated in blue 31 this year. Well, Northwest Gambit, I think you know what you got to do. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, take whichever one you like on this slide. Take it, bud.
Okay, well, we'll start up here at the very tip top with the big letters, Leo in 9th straight road W. I don't know that it can be put into words how impressive that is to go 9 straight on the road. Now, if we could just be the home team that we ought to be, then this is a really exciting season. So we'll see if we can get that figured out. It feels like that's something that you can. And then Carcar again with another in. All the teams in NFC West that matter are 4-2 now. That's almost accurate.
It's hilarious
because the Seahawks are 4-2 and they matter. The Niners and Rams are also 4-2 and the Rams are a good football team. We'll see about the Niners, but they still don't matter because I don't care. Screw those teams. I hate them.
Oh, I love it though. But yeah, and then there's the Cardinals who now have a quarterback controversy on their hands because Brissett played better than the other guy. So Northwest Gambit again saying in 0 turnovers against Jags defense, who led the league in turnovers. We talked about that all week. We talked about that in the preview show with Mr. Phil, and then the crossover show Behind Enemy Lines with Gus Logue saying, is this sustainable? And turns out wasn't. And out no turnovers despite sacking Trevor 7 times and watching him make a couple of turnover-worthy throws. Yeah, you get 7 sacks. You'd like to, pop one out there. Doesn't happen, but still 7 sacks is good. But point heard. Leo is back saying in AJ Barner in first touchdown which is Cooper Kupp, touchdown as a Seahawk, out D display on Jaguars' first touchdown, and Job allowing an easy touchdown as well. We haven't said a word about AJ Barner. When the going got tough, the tough got going. And by the way, Brandon, do you know how long that AJ Barner reception was at the end of the game?
How long?
Yeah, how
you
long?
cut out right when he said it.
Yeah, how long?
Was it 71?
It was 61. And the reason it's interesting is because it exactly matched JSN's touchdown. JSN's touchdown was 61. Right. So they probably talked about that because they're cool. All right, we got Design Pete's Beach House saying in Jay gets to stay one more week, that being Jay Harbaugh. This is a running gag now in the Discord. We had a lot of consternation in the preseason because last season our special teams was dookie, and this year we're really good at special teams. Like through every bit of special teams, we're pretty damn good. So Amy bringing the jokes. Gornish Slick saying in Shaq Griffin. Agree, we covered him. And we got Sheena Nickens saying in Eamon looked legit today. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm almost ashamed with 7 ins that we have no Eamon. But Adam, that dude looks, we talked about it a little bit last night, but look, I'm not convinced on every part of his game, and I don't need to be. When he's down in the box playing box safety, I'm like, this dude could play Adam.
I'm very much looking forward to taking the All-22 and really focusing in on him. I started watching the All-22 today and was focused on interior D-line play, but the next step is to go back and watch Eamon. I want to see him in coverage a little bit and see what that looked like in real time and when you can actually see him where he lines up and all that stuff. But down in the box against the run, good for him, man. He looks comfortable. He looks like he's playing fast and free. Mike is really good with simplifying a complex scheme into simple language for even a rookie who missed a bunch of games already to come in and be effective. And that's kudos to Eamon for being the type of athlete and studier that he is. And it's kudos to Coach Mike for getting it ready.
Very well said. Going to skip down to the bottom with Dane X saying out. Chris Myers, please retire already. He wasn't good. And then in 2 minutes of commentator-free football, I want that as an option. We talked about that, Adam. Would you opt into just noise, just crowd noise and no announcers if you could have it?
85% of the time, yes.
Yeah. I think so too. It may not be that high. There's some color dudes that I really do like quite a bit that I think actually add some to the game. But yesterday's combo.
I don't know, Jim.
All right, we got Josh DeHuman with a smattering here. He was in heavy too. He must have been picking up what I was putting down. So he says in JSN and Barner coming in clutch. Yes, in pass pro being solid. Great point. Not just one.
Has been for weeks.
I know, 1 sack on Darnold. I think it was Nemhauser saying that they are now a top 10 pass pro unit. Top 10. It's by all the metrics you can measure. Pretty darn good. He also says, aside from the early touchdown give up, Griffin was an improvement over Pritchett. We agree. In Darnold consistently trying to find ways to keep the team in the game and not getting rattled when things did not go basically the way he wanted. Out. Third downs. We were 1 for 12 on third downs. Again, you're not going to win a lot of football games 1 for 12. You're not going to win them by 8 points. In what actually felt comfortable.
By any points.
Right. I'm just saying, just more kudos to the defense. That's how good the defense played because we punted a lot. But he says, Byron Murphy with 7 pressures today, most by a single player for the Hawks since Dunlap in the Bears game in 2021. Very, very good pull by Josh DeHuman there. All right, we got two more slides.
Okay.
So take it away, and we'll wrap up this part, and we'll get out of here.
All right, that just radical in quarter two, 325-ish. Williams running down the field and making a tackle. I actually noticed this as I started going back through the all 22, and that was a big effort from Leo there to make that happen. And that's the type of stuff that you have to see out of your leader to set the tone for the rest of the team to get to the standard that Mike wants to get to. So big deal out of Leo there, putting out that effort in the pressure. Drew the Damaja voice.
Damaya, yeah.
Drew the Damaja. I don't know what his voice sounds like, but I imagine it sounds like this. And when AJ Barter initiates cool robot dance sequence, all is right with the world. Absolutely. I still want to call it the Grizz, but either way, I'm happy with it. Out. At times, tackling looked less than optimal, maybe, but an improvement off of last week. You're missing 3 big-time starters in the back end of your defense. I think that does play into that. Out. Too much JSN? Upper register? We're better when we spread the ball around, although hard to argue with JSN's performance. And look, there's going to be a point where a team is going to try to double him more and roll coverage to him more. But we have seen enough out of Barner and Cup and Horton and even Arroyo early on to where there's legitimate options for Sam to get to that can create good matchups down the field. So I think that's not going to be a concern going forward. And that's with my Homer hat on. Out. Sam with another chaos ball pass late in the game that almost gets intercepted. They can't all be winners, and at the end of the day, I'm very hard on quarterbacks as a whole. And I think I hold maybe some to higher standards than they deserve to be at times. And, Sam, to this point, look, it's really excellent football. It's excellent football. It's so clean. It's so clean and precise and on time. If he has a chaos ball here and there, he's a human being. I will live with it. And I don't know if you feel the same about it, Clinton, but that's where I'm at on that.
No, I do. I think it's a fine point to make. I mean, it's great to get it out there. And, it's very hard to nitpick Sam Darnold right now, right? He's literally leading most the categories in the advanced stats for as being like the best quarterback in the NFL through 6 games. So that's pretty, it's pretty good. So, but it can always be better, right? And we're going to end with Hawk Van Dyke Bloomy, of course. He's been our closer throughout the years, especially when we get a W. So he says, watching Darnold's precision throws is a pleasure. So there you go. He says, out, waiting for the Lemmings to admit the reason that we can't run the ball. And if you're in our Discord, you know what that's about. And we'll leave it there. But it will end it with an in. Says, back on track with schedule analysis. He predicted a W here. As did we. We thought this would be a win. We get the win. For me, fun to knock the Jaguars back down a peg and be like, not today, not quite yet. Maybe you get there with Trevor Lawrence. Maybe you don't. We'll see. But Seattle's a better team. And we go to 4-2, and we get we have the week where we lose 38-35, where the national media goes, well, they lost, but boy, do they look pretty good. And then we travel across country and go beat a 4-1 team. And the national media is going like, this team might be legit. This might be a very, very legit, sustainable team that is brewing up in the Pacific Northwest. That's why I'm so hot to trot on this week coming up, Adam. Like, we got to get right at home. First and foremost, we've got to figure out how to be a better football team at home in general. Now, I'm not even saying better than on the road because we're 9-1 the last 10. That's going to be very difficult. But we need to be better at home. Perfect opportunity with the Texans team, where as we start to turn the page and start to think about the Texans a little bit, it's like, look, their offense has been very inconsistent and then got good against the Titans and then waxed the Ravens. So I do not know what to believe. I don't know if it's like, well, that was just because you played the Titans and the Ravens at their lowest, or you started to find some things and you actually are playing better football. I have no idea what to think yet, so I'm excited to kind of talk that out as the week progresses, man.
Definitely have some thoughts on that. In terms of the schedule, I mean, when we looked at it this offseason, you see this AFC South and you're licking your chops, and you know that you got to get those because the other teams in your division are going to. And those are, I mean, as close to easy wins that you can have in the league. Not that there's ever one. Jags obviously came in with a better record than everybody expected. It's kind of the team that I expected, and I'm not sure they're actually good at the end of the day. So we shall see. In terms of the Texans coming up and their offense, what to believe and what to not. This Texans offense, if you want to know what to believe and what to not, just look at the last 2 to 3 years of Seahawks football, and you're going to understand exactly what their offense is in terms of its function and dysfunction. And so they've just got their offense right against a Titans team who just fired their coach, which tells you something right there, and a Ravens team whose defense is in such disarray that their team is 1-5. Their defense has been historically awful. One of the worst in franchise history for the Ravens by far. Shows a couple things. One, that Texans explosion of points and all that. Don't believe in that at all when you have a terrible offensive line. And two, it shows you the genius of Mike McDonald. And I just want to thank the Ravens for letting us just like take Mike, snatch him away, bring him out here to the PNW, make our defense awesome. And if they can't fill his place, well, tough break for you, Ravens.
Love it, dude. We're going to have a lot of time this week to talk about that. We got all the shows coming up. We have What If with Mr. Phil. We got a great crossover pod coming with some fantastic Texans podcasters. We, of course, have the flagships coming up as well with you and Brandon. And so we'll get all the coverage there. You're going to want to stick around here. Look, we're a couple of subscribers short. Maybe we got them by now of our next milestone. We were 2 short of a pretty significant milestone for us. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the hype when this is done, drop the comments. And if you're really feeling goosed, get in theflock.com. And this way you could be joining us, and from the flock could be from you, which would be a lot of fun, because I love it, man. Every single day or so, we get new members that are in the Discord, and we get to all kind of see who they are and find out where they're from and find out, the cut of their jib and why they're here and how they became a Seahawks fan. It's a really, really cool thing. So it's going to be another good week, dude. The only thing for me that's going to be a little weird is me chugging coffee. I'm an East Coaster, chugging coffee Monday at like 9:00 at night so I could stay up for this 10 o'clock kickoff my time, which is bad for my deal, to be honest.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal. And then we're going to have to do a post-game live after that. It's going to get loopy. We're going to be delirious and happy because it's going to be another dub. We're going to be 5-2, and this team is going to be rolling down the tracks towards the playoffs, and it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a ton of fun. We want to thank Ryan 911 for the super chat, and for other folks, again, we love you. This is amazing that we could hop in here with, well over 200 people. The Seahawks get a W on Sunday. The Mariners get 2 W's back to back on Sunday and Monday. Our Seahawks are rolling. This is a good team. Let's keep it up. Let's get the Texans coming to our home. And let's just smack them in the mouth. Let's just go beat a Texans team that we should beat. And Adam, I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. And good job.